Welcome to the Kinected Podcast, where we shine a spotlight on the incredible members of our connected community. I'm Brent Fessler, your host, and each episode we're diving into the stories, expertise, and the passions of the innovators, the entrepreneurs, and the change makers who make Kinected so special. Our goal is to inspire collaboration, to spark new connections, and drive business opportunities within our community. Today, I am thrilled to introduce Margaret Judson, who is the founder and the executive director for School Connect here in San Antonio. She's doing amazing things here, so let's get started. Hey, Margaret, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here.
I appreciate you asking me to be here.
Yeah, you and I have been meandering around different co-working spases over the years. One of us is following the other, or we're just trying to find out where all the cool kids are. And we've landed here. You were one of the, when it first opened up Kinected 2.5 years ago, I was like, I need a Margaret Judson here. And thank God you're here. And
it's
excited
great to be here.
Yeah, excited to talk to you about your journey here, and School Connect is such a cool thing. So I'm excited to unpack that. So, but first, tell us about yourself and your journey to where you are today in your profession there at School Connect.
Okay. Well, I will start with, I am originally from San Antonio. I was born and raised here.
Nice.
I'm a 6th generation San Antonian. And
it doesn't go back any further than 6 generations,
no,
I don't
it's
think.
pretty far.
Yeah.
I may be 5. I think my husband's 6.
Wow.
He's a little bit further back than I am. But anyway, we met actually in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill. And that is really where my journey in this kind of work began. Is I worked as a legislative aide for 2 different congressmen from this area. And then when we moved back to San Antonio, I worked for the president of the UT Health Science Center at the time. And he asked me to do a really unique project where I went to the whole border region in South Texas and hosted a series of community gatherings to find out what people felt the needs were in their community regarding healthcare. And it was fascinating. We went all the way from El Paso down to the Rio Grande Valley. And through that, we came back and wrote a white paper. That was taken to Austin. And long story short, that was the beginning of the medical school that is now in the Rio Grande Valley.
Very cool.
So that was kind of my first, getting kind of my, feet in with collective impact and the importance and the value of collaboration. And so about 5 years ago, I met with some people here in San Antonio who were doing some of that work in the community, and they asked if I would lead a series of listening sessions to see what kind of collaboration was happening between school districts and the faith community. And through a series of 6 probably gatherings, we realized that there was very little, that people were operating in silos, and that there was a real need to bring the 2 together. And so that was the beginning of the School Connect journey. Very
interesting. I love that journey. And vision tends to get discovered a couple steps at a time. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like what your journey was. What inspired you to join the Connected community, and how has being a part of it impacted your work?
Well, you inspired me to be a part of the community, but no, really, it was.
It only took like 7 or 8 phone calls and a little bit of bribery.
Well, I started School Connect during COVID and was working mainly from home and knew that was not going to work. And so when I found out about the co-working space at One, I immediately headed over there. And I really liked just the interaction, the daily interaction with just a host of different people coming and going. There was so much. I loved doing that. And it was so encouraging to me at the time, and also people that, would pray with me and we could really share life with. And so I was really sad when that kind of faded away a bit. And so I was really excited to find out that Connect was here. And it happened to be in a great location because so much of the work that I do is with school districts throughout our community. So anyway.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's how I got here.
Well, we're grateful for you here, because Connected is definitely more than a collection of furniture and rooms. It really is about the people here. And I've been very intentional about pursuing great people to be here, because I know we we say, but we're better together. But I know I am better when I'm around good people who are doing good things. It makes me a better business person, better leader, just better at my work.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful that you are here. I love telling people, oh, Margaret Judson's at Kinected. You're kind of, it raises the status of Kinected a little bit. Like, right. So yeah. So tell us about the core mission of School Connect and what problem are you solving? I mean, you shared a little bit there, but tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, our core mission is to connect community partners from the faith, nonprofit, and business community to build a village of support around public schools. And
I love that.
Well, it's okay. It's not completely mine. That School Connect started in Phoenix, Arizona, over 10 years ago, and it was originally birthed out of a church, Pure Heart Church. And they just kind of took a step back and thought, what would happen if we left this community? Would anybody even notice? Would anyone care? And they realized also at the time that schools are really the heartbeat of the community. And how could they come around and come alongside schools? But they also knew they couldn't solve every problem, that they didn't have the resources or really all that it would take to do that. And so from that, School Connect was born. And what I love about it, it's been going on for 10 years. We were the first city outside of Arizona to pilot the program. And we started that 5 years ago in Northside School District because we knew Dr. Woods at the time was really big into community partnership, and he agreed to pilot the program with us. And so that's what's really neat to see, the community collaboration coming alongside and kind of, like I said earlier, breaking those silos. A lot of people don't understand that they can partner with public schools, and oftentimes they don't really know how. It can be kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
Schools have changed a lot. You have to check in.
So there's some navigation.
There's definitely some navigation. Yeah. And, unfortunately, it is what it is. That's kind of the world that we live in.
Sure.
It doesn't matter where you go, a supermarket, or, you have to identify yourself and you have to wear now a badge. But it's very simple to get in once you kind of go through that procedure. And schools also don't know that, hey, people really want to help you out. And so kind of bringing those two together in a really collaborative space and being really intentional about building that community together, that's what we do. So we really like to foster collaboration across these sectors. And what makes us unique is that really we lean into the faith community because we know they are also a really important part of our community. Yeah. And oftentimes churches are the ones that don't think that they can be a part of a public school. So it's really neat when we get to bring them in and say, yes, you can. I mean, obviously there's some legal guidelines that they have to follow, but other than that, they're a huge part of that community. Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't know at what point you were really close to just launching. When it was outside of Kinected, it was over at one, like you mentioned earlier. And, having seen lots of organizations start.
Yeah.
And seen plenty of those not get past a year or two.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I wonder how this one's going to go. And I've got to really commend and compliment you on your tenacity. Like starting anything is really not easy. And so you've made it look pretty easy, but I can also tell you're putting the sweat in, you're putting the work in. And as a kind of a one-person shop, you've been bringing the vision, you've been bringing the energy, the consistency, the tenacity, the persistence, knocking on doors, opening doors, and really being that connector so that other people who have a heart to serve our kids in the K-12 space don't have to go through so much effort to be able to serve them. So you've really, you're a pioneer and just as a mission, really. You blaze a trail so that other people can come along on more of a highway. And I know that hasn't been easy. So it's been a privilege watching your just progressive steps of success.
I appreciate that. That is, it's been, I love it because I believe so much in it. And I think that if I didn't have that passion, because you really have to believe in what you're doing to get up every day, day after day to do that and to push through those. And like you said, it can be really challenging at times. And believe me, I have moments probably every week where I'm like, is this where I'm called to serve? Am I doing the right thing? And every week I definitely have those moments of, yes, this is where I have you right now. Keep going. So,
well, tell us about one of the successes.
Well, I have a recent success that I'm really excited about. On Friday, East Central School District, so they have 16 schools in that school district. They are hosting their first district-wide café. And what that looks like is they're going to have all their schools together in one room with all their community partners. And they have gone above and beyond and invited all their community partners, from the state rep to the local city council person to, I think, every business and, higher education institution that they work with. Everyone's coming out for this cafe on Friday. And so to see people really grab on to that vision and that mission, and then to take it and to do it themselves. So I've come alongside. I trained their principals this summer, and I've met with them to kind of guide them through, but they have really put this together themselves. And that is what I love, when people just take ownership and make it theirs. And so I'm really excited to see that. And then I would think a specific example, I have so many where I see community partnerships that have happened, but one in particular is one with one of our elementary schools. And what we like to do in this model is we don't have the principal doing all the work. We know that principals they are tapped out. They're in charge of so much and have tremendous responsibility. So we ask them to identify a champion on their campus, and that person will come alongside them and run this model. And so at this particular school, their champion had gone through her training. She came back, and they realized that they had this group of fifth grade boys that kept getting in trouble on a weekly basis. And so she met with the principal and was like, kind of dreaming up ideas of what we can do to kind of come alongside and help these young boys out. And they said, it would be great if they could do some extra curriculum after school. So they have this enrichment programs they do after school. But they also knew that, they probably wouldn't be able to maybe afford the fees that were associated with that programming. So they realized, we have these community partners. A lot of schools have community partners, but they don't know that that's a community partner, and those people are wanting to serve in your school. So they went to the local bakery and said, would you be interested in doing a baking class? And they were like, we would love to do that. And then they did the guitar, I can't even say that, guitar store.
The guitar store?
Yeah. I don't know why that sounds weird. Anyway, and then she was dating the coach of the Incarnate Word football team, one of the coaches, and asked him if any of his students be interested in doing an after-school football clinic. And they were like, sure, we'd love to do that. And she explained to me, you're going to have to come on a consistent basis because these kids will get really excited. And so those players came, and they offered this football clinic on a weekly basis to this group of kiddos. And what happened is the discipline problems dropped off for those boys. And those Incarnate Word football players, they in turn liked it so much that they said, can we come and help out during lunch and hang out with these kids during lunch, sit with them during lunch. So it was a win-win. And then when we went and filmed it, because I couldn't believe it. I was like, I've got to see this in person. So we went one afternoon when it was their last session together, and had the football players on film, and they were sharing with us the story and just the power and the meaning of this story to them, because they said, this is the background that I came from. My mom was a single mom and couldn't afford to give me after school clinics. And for me to be able to give back of my time and my skill to these kids was just such a gift to them. And I was even there. This one little boy wasn't going to be able to play the first half because he had used some inappropriate language that day at school. And one of the football players from Incarnate Word was asked the counselor, hey, do you mind if I take him around the track? I'll just be with him and walk with him around the track, and we'll talk about what he did today and, the consequences of that. And so that's the story of just really identifying your partners, bringing them in, and the impact it made not only on those community partners, but on the lives of those young men.
Yeah.
And
it's fantastic.
It was it's just such a great story. And it's just kind of giving people the energy and the ideas to come up with something that's a little bit different and constructive in the impact you can make in people's lives. It's great.
I think a lot of misbehavior is trying to ask the question, do I matter? Am I visible? How valuable am I? It's a version of the same question that the School Connect founders were asking. Like, what would this, would we be missed if we were gone, or would I matter if I misbehave? How valuable am I? And seeing that behavior shift once they saw I am valuable, somebody's investing in me, somebody's investing, whether they are conscious of it or not, when somebody starts moving towards us with service, with attention, it's one of the most powerful expressions of our value and our worth. And we start rising up to what somebody else is expressing in us, rather than us saying, you have to earn our expression of value towards you. So if you're misbehaving, we're actually going to treat you as less valuable.
Yeah.
And so I love that the your mission with School Connect is really raising the value in their own eyes. That no, you are worth something. You're invaluable, and you're worth investing in, and just having that impact in that way. I love that. What's one thing that you wish? What's one thing that you wish people knew about your industry or the work that you do?
Oh, wow. I wish that more people understood the value and the need for community engagement. We are a fragmented community. I think everybody knows that. Everybody feels that.
Yep.
But the power of when we come together and work together in a collaborative space is just so meaningful. And we have a generation of kiddos who I think are hurting and searching. And we really, and for me right now, I just really want to lean into the business community, because that's kind of my weak link, is the business community right now. And I feel like there's so much possibility and opportunity for a business, a corporation, to get involved. And because this is the future workforce, this is our future, are these children.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like we as a community really need to come together. And second of all, to me, is the value of education. We have really got to start talking about education in our community. Absolutely. It's an issue that no one really talks about anymore, either our city leadership or corporate leadership. Just people in the community is kind of, I don't know why it's not on the radar, but it's huge for us attracting the future workforce of this community. Yeah. We've had corporations who've left our community, and we really need to restore that and bring more people in. And when you have a solid education system and people are committed and engaged with that, it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. I think it's such a long play. We get distracted by all the noise of our own lives and don't realize with the importance of investing in education, because we don't see the results of that for decades. But our leaders today are a big product of our education from 2 and 3 decades ago.
Right.
And so if we want a great community when we're retiring and looking to the leaders, we have to invest in the youth of today, for sure. Well, let's look inside of the Kinected community. And have you been able to collaborate with other Kinected members? And if so, how did that pan out for you?
Okay. This is such a great question for me, because I collaborate, I think, almost on a daily basis with Kinected members. So Unite SA and Jonathan and his team, I connect with them. Yeah. will drop by and share ideas or contacts and have you heard about this and invite one another to different events. So that is a huge collaboration. And I think we're kind of dreaming up some other things as well. And then I work also with Youth for Christ. I mean, that's another partner that I've worked with very closely. And so I want to say, like, all those people who are working in that nonprofit space, we've all kind of, really crossed paths quite a bit here. And I know that would not be happening if I wasn't here. I mean, that is just one of the main reasons I'm here, other than the lovely workspace.
The proximity, just the unscheduled things, just passing in the hallway.
Yeah, just being with different people who are just kind of stopping in.
Yeah.
And I love that part of it, because that is truly, to me, is what a co-working space should look like and should be like, is supporting one another and coming alongside. And even last year, I had this really kind of stressful morning and reached out to one of my colleagues and said, hey, explain to him what was happening. Do you think this is normal? And he was like, no. He explained to me how to kind of take care of the situation. And but when they were in my office, they said, you look really stressed out. Can we pray for you? And I was like, sure, I would love that. So I thought, wow, what other place would you be working where somebody would, offer to do that for you? It was just a really neat moment.
It's happened to me as well, and it is a great place, and I see it happening to other members, and it's sometimes it's me asking that question, but most of the time it's not me, it's other members just listening and paying attention to those around them. I've had friends at other co-working spaces that perhaps had nicer furniture and were full, waiting list to get in, but. My friend there said, Brent, I don't know one other person in this space. I know the name of the person sitting next to me, but I don't know anybody here. Yeah. Even though it's full, there's more people here.
Right.
But the connections just weren't there. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah.
And I know that when I'm the one who needs it, I've been asked this week a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah, because I think I've been real busy, and maybe the expression on my face was real serious. So I had a couple of people like, "Hey, are you okay? Are you okay?" And able to say, "Yeah, I am okay. It's just busy," but I'm grateful that somebody was noticed and paid attention to ask that. So tell me what you're excited about, and what collaboration looks like for connected members. How can we get involved with you?
Okay, and that's specifically with the connected community. I think for me would be learning more about the business community that is here. I feel like I know the nonprofit community fairly well, and the faith community that's here.
So give us an example of what business connection looks like in the school, so that we can be like,
okay. Yeah, well, a business connection is them just being a part of the café. And the café is where you come to the school. They have those maybe once or twice a year, where you hear from the principal what the things they're proud of, maybe a learning walk to come on the campus, see what it looks like. And then also to hear some of the challenges and maybe how you can be a part of helping out. It's not about fundraising. It's not donations, but it's real collaborative partnership. So, hey, if they have an issue that's come up, they can pick up the phone and call, hey, Brent, we would love your insight on this. It's those kind of things. So just having a business partner at that school, because it does give you a whole host of opportunities to be a part of a community with those other partners. You'll be sitting with somebody from a faith community and somebody from another nonprofit and some other people, all who are around that school. And it's just a neat opportunity.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then you can also serve on that campus. So
yeah,
we have Lover School Day. That's once a year. It's usually in February or March.
Okay.
And it's a one-day hands-on project at that school. And so it's a great way for businesses also to bring their staff to come on the campus and do a done-in-a-day project with students and parents.
That's great. And I imagine there's other nonprofits that are serving on campuses that businesses can also, if from a service standpoint.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like
snack
a great
pack or
networking kind of opportunity where they get to know other people who are right there in their own community.
That's great. Okay, so we want to learn from you for a little bit. Okay. So tell us about a lesson that you've learned in your career that you think others could benefit from.
Well, one lesson that I've been doing for the past 5 years, and I really encourage people to do this, is to meet with everyone. I mean, I think that is the nature of the work that we're all in. And I, by nature, am an introvert. So sometimes I cannot believe I'm doing this work because I meet with everyone. And I mean everyone that colleagues or friends say, hey, I want you to meet with so-and-so. And I'll meet with everyone. And also to go into those meetings with not any preconceived ideas or judgments about those people. And I find myself still doing that. I had a meeting earlier this week and I had already met with several people from this organization and just really had not made any headway. But a friend, another colleague said, I really want you to meet with this person. And I did. And it was like a phenomenal meeting. Yeah. I mean, now I am in that organization. And it took, 3 years to kind of be seen and heard and meeting with them and different people at different times. So if people are starting out, whatever it is that you're doing, like meet with people because you never know where that is going to lead. And my job that I got at the Health Science Center was my husband at the time was working at USAA, and one of the senior VPs, I went to meet with him, I just moved here from Washington, didn't know what I was going to do. And he gave me some ideas and people I should go visit. And one of the people he told me I should go visit, I remember at the time thinking, I am not going to call that person because I am not interested in that issue at all. It was healthcare. That was not my issue in Washington. I'm not interested. But I thought, that's nice. I'll just kind of shake my head. Well, he's called his assistant, said, Sylvia, could you please call Dr. Howe and get an appointment with Margaret? And I was like, oh my goodness. So I had to go to the meeting. Yeah. And that meeting is where I had the most incredible conversation with the president of the medical school. And we just really hit it off. And I was in a situation where he suggested I take some time off, and he 6 months later called and offered me a position and became a dear friend. So you never know. Yeah. And that to me was such a great example at the beginning, just to like put everything aside, go meet with everybody. You never know. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And have open mind to be curious, ask questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We make up our minds pretty quickly. It's interesting. I think sometimes we feel like I can demonstrate how smart I am by figuring somebody out with as little information as possible. And we think we're smart because I've got them figured out of 2 data points. And there's so many more stories that could be written by those same data points. So I think it's fantastic. And especially having a hopeful view or bias to as we meet with people, because that opens the doors to really collaborate and do well together.
And also meeting in person. I'm a big meeting in person. And I will have to say, following the pandemic, so many people are kind of lean toward the Zoom call. Yeah. And that is my first question. Can we meet in person? Yeah. Because it's really hard for me to connect with somebody over a screen.
There's so much more information when you're in person. That just makes it more efficient. You feel like, this is less efficient because I have to travel or whatever. Yeah. But so much more gets done in that short visit.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. And I also love that introverts can thrive and flourish in a co-working space. It's like, I'm an introvert. I just like working by myself. Yeah. And you do keep your head down working. Yeah. And I walk in, you're always busy. You're not a chit chatter.
No, I'm not. I'm just very.
But yeah, I'm the same way. Even if I'm not talking to people, I'm better working around. I'm able to focus more for whatever reason. Right. I feel more accountable. Feel more. I don't know, just the more version of me that I want to be when I'm around people. Yeah. Are there any trends or innovations that you're excited about in your space, it doesn't sound like there's a lot of people doing what you're doing.
Well, one thing I think what's really cool about this is, okay, I told you we were the first ones to take this model outside of Arizona. And as of today, it's now in 17 cities across the country.
Wow. That's
and
great.
So what's cool about it is this.
And they're saying you need to go look at San Antonio and see how they're doing it.
No, not quite. Not there yet. But if it hadn't started in San Antonio, and if this had not been, we were the first ones to kind of do it. They didn't even know what to do when we asked, hey, can we use your model? We want to have everything. We want your logo, all your training materials. We just want everything because we don't want to have to reinvent the wheel. And nobody had ever asked them that. So they had to drop an MOU and figure it out. And I've kind of been bumped along with them the first 2 years of trying to figure out training modules. How are we going to do this? And I really give the credit to Tracy, and they have really taken it off and run with it. But I think they've seen it work here in San Antonio and how I really, as an individual, was able to do this. And so it's in all these amazing cities that they go and train, so much so that she is now going to start a whole national School Connect.
Love it.
And have somebody in Phoenix who's going to take over her position.
You were the first to demonstrate that it could be repeated, it could be that somebody else could do it, that there wasn't anything just special, unique about it.
No, it wasn't. It looks different everywhere. Every city has done it a little bit differently because it matches that culture and the needs of that community. And some have a stronger faith component. I would say most of them are on a platform where there's some other faith-based, programs. I'm the only standalone School Connect. So that's been kind of interesting. The others don't have to raise money or worry about all the other things that I have to worry about. And so that's been neat for them to see that. So for me, not that that's, I guess it is kind of innovative. It is something new because people are really wanting to gather as community and to collaborate, and they don't always know how. And that's what I really love about this, is showing people how it can be done. Yeah.
I do want to also point out your humility in that as well, because I think a lot of folks I have an idea, so I'm just going to go at it on my own. It felt like you saw that there was a need that nobody else was filling. And so that's, you kind of reluctantly almost got into something because it was a need that nobody was filling sufficiently. And there was a gap in there. And secondly, you're like, well, I've got this idea, but I couldn't care less if it was my organization.
Yeah.
I'm much happier to go learn from somebody who's already done this in their own community.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes we don't do the work to understand who else is doing what we have this idea to do. And if somebody else is already doing it, do I care enough about the mission that I would actually go join somebody else's efforts already instead of entering a crowded space with...
Well, and when we first brought this to San Antonio, before we even brought it officially, we did have a meeting. We met with people throughout the community, I'm going to say for probably 6 months, really finding out if people were doing it because it made so much sense. And I thought, oh, surely other people are doing this. But we met with all the kind of the leaders in these different sectors, and they were like, no, there's nothing like this. I mean, there were bits and pieces, but nobody's really put this all together. And then we brought a group of stakeholders. I want to say there were probably about 15 people around the conference table at the Area Foundation at the time. And we invited Tracy to come and make a pitch to everyone that was there. And so it was great. And that's what kind of really officially launched that, like the community, because we wanted there to be community support behind this. So it wasn't like it was just something we created, thought of, and hey, we want you to do this. So I think that was also important, was really getting everyone's buy-in from the get-go.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure people watching and listening could say, I'd love for Margaret to be my mentor because she's learned so much. But if you could have anybody Kinected as a mentor or a collaborator, who would you go and seek out unless you're already are?
Wow. I'm just trying to think. Probably maybe the gal down the hall from me, just the marketing.
CC Smith. Yeah. Toolbox Studio.
Yeah. Just because, I mean, I think that's probably a little bit, everybody can use help with marketing.
Yeah.
And I don't know really, to be honest with you, I do feel like I already have some kind of unofficial mentors here that, they are officially not mentors, but they do see me and give me encouragement and ideas and direction. So, yeah.
That's good. Okay. So a little bit of fun, something surprising or unique about you that most people in our community might not know.
I lived in London.
Really?
Yeah. I went to school there my entire junior year of college, and I lived with the English family, and I worked for a member of parliament.
Cool.
And
the accent didn't.
No, it didn't. No.
Did you come home with one?
No.
Okay.
I'm one of these people. I've had the same accent my entire life. I was made fun of because I don't sound like I'm from Texas. But anyway, somehow I just got this. And so I did that. And then I went back after college because I really thought that's where I would live maybe the rest of my life. I loved it so much. And then I worked, when I went back, I had a series of odd jobs. And one of my odd jobs was I was a tea lady for an accounting firm.
A tea lady?
A tea lady. Believe it or not, they at the time had tea ladies, and you had a little cart at this lovely little kitchen, and I would make tea and I would bring it in. They're very serious about their tea in England in the morning at a certain time, and I would serve all the men at the CPA firm around this conference table. Wow. And I'd go back and I would wash up and everything, and then I do it again at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Wow.
That was an official role.
The tea lady. It's on your business
tea lady.
card.
No, I didn't put it on my business card, but it's come in handy for this question that people always ask. That's what's unique about you. And not many people I know who've been a tea lady, but yeah I did that.
Okay. Well, another one. So you grew up around San Antonio, born and raised here. Yeah. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Churchill.
You went to Churchill?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Gucci Bowl kind of...
That was way before my time.
Way before you... Yeah, okay. So Churchill, that's not too far from the Kinected campus here.
No.
Over in Castle Hills.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very cool. Okay. Now, if School Connect had a theme song, what would it be?
Okay. I had a little cheat on this, but the song that immediately came to mind is We Are Family. I don't know why I thought that. Yeah. Maybe that's just a blast from the past. We Are Family, Yeah.
You have to sing it on
No, I am not going to sing it. Sorry, okay. Brent. I will just go so far in this interview. I'm not going to do that.
All right. Well, that was awesome. The song's in my head now.
Now everybody knows that family. That family. Everybody knows that song.
We are.
Yeah, you're the musician. You should be singing it.
That's the one. Okay. Well, so how can our listeners and viewers connect with you to learn more and to explore potential collaboration?
Well, I would love for everybody to come to our School Connect Summit.
Awesome.
Which is going to be Tuesday, February 3rd at the Northside Sports Gym. And you can find us on social media. You can find it, contact me here at Kinected. Look at our website, schoolconnectsa.org to register and find out more. It's free. It's open to everyone. Everyone who's interested in learning more about how to engage with our schools. But more importantly, you're going to hear from our students. We're going to have a student voice. And you'll sit at a small table with only 6 to 7 people at your table. And it really provides an opportunity to get to know other people. You're not going to sit with your colleagues. You're going to be spread out. Each person from each sector is going to be sitting at a table with someone from a school and also a student. And you'll be really super impressed by these high school students. We had them at the summit last year, and people really enjoyed hearing from them. So we're going to do that again this year. We're going to have a student panel and another panel to be determined. I'm still working on that. But it's just a great opportunity to really experience School Connect, the heart and soul of School Connect. And we would love for everybody to come.
That's fantastic.
There's no cost, and you get a breakfast taco and coffee.
All right.
Yeah.
So summit in February, probably cafes coming up in the school district that we care about or live in. So get involved and come visit with Margaret, and she will get you into a very impactful place with our next generation. That is a wrap for today's episode of the Kinected Podcast. A huge thank you to Margaret Judson for sharing her incredible story and insights with us. So if you're inspired to connect with Margaret or to explore collaboration opportunities, you can reach them at schoolconnectsa.org. And to our connected community, keep building those connections and driving impact. We really are better together. And to learn more about Kinected, you can go to www.kinected.work. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast for more inspiring stories coming out every month. And we will catch you next time. So long.